Good morning, everyone. I know how this looks. No, I'm not up at stupid 30 in the morning doing this. I'm up at, well, actually this is Monday night. Monday night for me. But you know how it is. The schedule flipped around on me. Had kind of a weird day yesterday. And, yeah. I'm going to be heading into work far too early to do a reading for you, so I'm doing it tonight. Sorry. And providing it to you now, when you're watching this. Okay, so I am currently mulling something over. Like I said, today was kind of a weird day for me. It'll be yesterday for you. And some new things have come to light. So I wanted to know what you guys think about your boy Raven starting a Patreon. I'm going to say this, ever since I started helping to create content, ever since I started making my own content, I never wanted to do Patreon. Never. Honestly, I can't really monetize the channel because, especially if you're looking at it on YouTube, don't have enough subscribers, don't get enough views, don't get enough thumbs up clicks. And it's this is a niche channel, so I'm not expecting it to do, you know, great wonders here. I'm not expecting to do PewDiePie numbers at all. Although, I will say this, we have, in terms of views, we've stayed in the triple digits. Which for a channel that started only 6 months ago, and that's across all platforms. We're talking YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, Clouthub, and Odyssey. All 5 of those. We've managed to stay above triple digits across all 5 platforms. More often than not, with BitChute and Clouthub taking the lead in terms of views. So, trying to monetize all these channels, it's not going to work. So, I got to thinking about, and I've resisted this. If I did a Patreon, I really wanted to keep the subscriber amounts kind of low. So starting with like $1. And I think, I don't really know how Patreon works. I've never really been there or done it. I've kind of like peeked at it a little bit and decided against it. But now I'm having to seriously consider it, because I may have to turn this into a revenue stream at some point. It's a long story, and one that if I tell it, I'm just going to get really super angry, and I really don't want to do that. You really don't want the raven turning into a wolf on this channel. So anyway, that's a possibility. It's something I'm seriously considering now. And I wondered what kind of extra content, because let's face it, I would have to make extra content, would you like to see on that channel? I know some of you have engaged in the comment section down below, and I'm asking everyone here who is watching this who does actually like this channel, no matter where you're watching it on, I would like to know what your thoughts are. If you don't feel like commenting down below, you can always go to my Telegram chat. If you go to the top search bar on YouTube, you will find that one of the links links you right to my Telegram. You can come on in, you can sit down, you can talk about anything. We don't have to talk tarot, we can talk anything, any subject. All I ask is to keep it civil. I'm literally the only one in there right now. So guess what? The earlier you get in, the more of an audience you have with me, just as I've had with you. And I thank you so much for joining. I thank you so much for showing up whenever you can. I thank you so much for just hanging with me. Things are about to get super difficult. And let me tell you something. That little snippet about Horatius yesterday for you, never proved more apropos than yesterday. It's been weird. Anyway, I should probably quit grab-assing and tell you it was Witcharoo who picked this deck today. And this deck is, of course you saw it, the Uncommon Tarot. I have used this deck for about the last 6 or 7 months now. This deck was here. This deck started it all, baby. This and Raven's Prophecy are the two that I started using on this channel. And I think I also use some smaller decks as well. Namely a small Radiant Rider-Waite and a small Smith-Waite Centennial. So, I am going to go ahead and start drawing cards now. So we have your significator here. And we have mind, body, and of course, spirit. And by the way, this mat that you see me using was also, if you caught the unboxing video I did of my altar mats, you'll notice that they look oddly familiar. It's because Wendy Williams over at Magic in Your Living Room also did this one. This is one of the ones I picked up at the South Jersey Pagan Pride Festival. I found it to be very beautiful. And even though it's sort of Wiccan inspired, I thought, you know, don't have to be Wiccan to have an appreciation for all 4 elements, do we? I don't think we do. Anyway, let's see what the significator looks like today. We have an 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands, we're looking at fast action. A lot of creative energy, a lot of fire. Remember yesterday we were talking about thinking on our feet. And believe one thing, yesterday I had to do a lot of that. Anyway, this is a card that has been one of my absolute favorites for a long time. But we are going to move. We're going to move very swiftly we're going to also receive some good news and blessings on the rise, maybe even a little divine intervention. For those of you familiar with Rider-Waite, you will know that the way you see those wands positioned, that is the way they are in the original Rider-Waite, but you also see a couple of beings flying around. Flying very swiftly. And that looks like what we're going to have to do. We're not able to slow down just yet. Besides, when has it ever been known that you or I are going to slow down, right? What's that old saying? If it's too loud, you're too old, right? Okay. And I've got Bub very close to the edge here, so let's not put a hot cup of fuck it all next to him. Hey, bud. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Witcharoo did mention that one of her favorite relaxation techniques is to take one of her favorite decks and shuffle it. Out of all the decks I own, I'm going to say this one happens to be my absolute favorite to shuffle, because it shuffles perfectly. All the cards tend to lay on top of each other, and then they just glide together. It's very, very beautiful. So, for the mind, we have a Ten of Swords. We have an Ace of Cups. And we also have a Priestess. Looks like the High Priestess here. Starting with this one. This is the one in the Rider-Waite. You usually see a guy face down with 10 swords stuck in him, pinning him to the ground. And to that I usually say, what army did you piss off, Rasputin? Well, I can tell you this much. It also means that evil has been bested. And having that Ten of Swords moment, it can be both good news and bad news. The bad news is, sometimes it means a betrayal. In this case, I don't see that. In this case, I do see a triumph over evil. A triumph over betrayal. Leading us into this Ace of Cups, where we explore some new emotional opportunities that presented to us. So we have some new emotions, we have some new things to explore, and I had a pretty new one yesterday where I've never been in this kind of state of, how can you put this, PO'd. Yeah, I was pissed off to the point of extreme snark and silence in equal measure. It was hard for me to get out of that. Now that I'm home and I've shuffled, I think I feel a lot better. Anyway, but here is where intuition comes into play. And we have to trust that our intuition is leading us in the right direction, even when we want to question it. And this little guy's helping me feel better too. Never underestimate the power of a cat, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so for the physical, we have Nine of Coins. Nine of Coins is always a very beautiful card. It does point to abundance. Not quite that 10 though. The 10 looks to mostly represent family and abundance. This one represents all that you have ever worked for coming to fruition. We also have a Hanged one here, which this is us letting go of certain things. Sort of that making peace with what needed to go, letting it go and enjoying the new stuff that's coming in. And on top of that, we also have a Hermit. And having this hermit around means we do need to be a little more meditative in our thoughts and practices. In our spiritual center here, we do have the death card. Woo. Some things are going to pass away. Some things are going to be lost, and it's important for us to lose those things that weren't serving us. Time to lose them. We also have a Knight of Coins here. And the Knight of Coins, concerning itself with physical matters and earthly matters, right there in our spiritual, is speaking to us, letting us know that we need to be reliable. We also need to be practical. We should be taking pragmatic actions to achieve our goals. You know, there's something else in this card that I really like. And it's something that, I forget her name right now, but the author of Moonology, I just started listening to her book today, and she said, it's okay to wish for very big things, and to even work on them, but you may have to take baby steps. So wishing for a brand new Mercedes and then getting it, it's not impossible. It's very possible. However, it's more likely that you'll get it if you first take the baby steps of building your credit. Yeah, up. Will you stop? Enough of that. Come here. So, building your credit to the point where you could easily get a loan for one, or having a great job, building yourself up to that great job so that you can afford one, you can afford to finance one, saving, that sort of thing. Let me tell you something. Having a massive bank account is also very possible for anyone, as long as you know how to make the right moves. You gotta look at how, let's talk about money, because typically the coin suit or pentacles, that's its focus, is money and earthly material possessions, earthly wealth, earthly, hard, tangible, physical things. It's okay to dream big on those things. It's okay to want and desire those things. However, you may have to take baby steps to get there. Now, normally, when you do something like that, when you create that great wealth, you can appreciate it a little more. You tend to take care of it a little better. You don't squander it. You don't, how can I put this? Sudden wealth syndrome. Let's look at that. The person who builds their wealth over time is not as apt to lose it. The person who wins the lottery, a lot of the times they wind up broke again. And you're like, how could you have pissed millions of dollars away? Well, if you really want the simplest answer to that, ask any politician. Very simple. Alright, closing it out, we do have a Six of Wands. This card tends to represent a lot of victory. And you can see that guy sitting on his camel, he is all victory. That dude is super proud of what he's accomplished. And that's really where we want to be. We want to be right there. That recognition for a job well done, right there in the winner's circle. You're crowned with success, and you lead your team toward new goals, and you get some outside support. So what I'm seeing here, in a summary of these cards, I'm seeing a lot of emotion. Definitely seeing some intuition. But what I'm mostly seeing in this spread right here is a lot of victory. Victory can be an absolute beast of a thing. But we may have to take smaller steps to get there. And that process may seem long, it may seem arduous, and we may not even trust ourselves at times. But it's important to trust ourselves. It's important to let go of old mentalities and old mindsets. It's important to let go of those things that just aren't serving you. Sometimes we're going to have to take a look at our situations and go, is this worth it? Because right now, I can tell you right now, there are things, I don't know, you can like look around your house or something like that, or your apartment, kind of look around and go, okay, what if I were to lose that movie collection, would I really miss it? I can tell you I would. I would miss that, yes. I would definitely miss that. Besides, it's how I unwind at times. And I think most of the movies I have, I don't think any of them are over 10 years old or better. Most of them are like 10, 20, sometimes even 30 years old. I just tend to like to watch those movies a little more. But you look around and you say, okay, if I didn't have that collection of knickknacks, would I be okay? Do I really need those? Are they serving me in any way, shape, or form? If the answer is no, sell them. Give them away. We have to do away with those little pieces of our lives that are just superfluous, or they're not, bringing in that value. They're distracting us. They're doing all kinds of things like that. Especially anything distracting you. Get rid of it. Let it go. You're going to be so much happier you did. You'll watch the death of an old mindset and the birth of a new one. And that's what you're working on right now is this death of an old mindset that has really just held you back. Hasn't really served you. Hasn't helped you. Come to think of it, in light of what I said about Patreon right now. Could be, right? But if you really want that victory, it's kind of like severing some fingers in order to save the whole hand. So, I think I'm going to leave it right there. Yeah, I think I'm just going to kind of let it go at that. Seems like the biggest focus was right here in the spiritual. Some things had to die in order for the baby steps to be taken, or those first steps towards something much larger, only for you to claim victory later, right? But you gotta be a little calm, gotta be meditative. You have to know that everything is going to work. All the effort, all the time that you have put into this, whatever this is for you, it's going to work. Just keep putting in that time, put in that effort. I really wish I could have just pulled the Starseed Oracle out or the Work Your Light Oracle out, but remember, this is Straight Tarot Tuesday. we'll be back to those Oracle cards on Thursday and Friday. And don't forget, Roomcasting Wednesday, tomorrow, you here. And we're going to be pulling out the old Yggdrasil cloth. In any case, that's all I have for you today. I've got to go feed Bub, so I can go ahead and get this in the can. It will appear on YouTube and Rumble first, and then it will appear on BitChute, Clouthub, and all the rest a little later in the day when I get home from work. I hope you all have a wonderful, beautiful Tuesday. I don't think I get to say it enough, but I do love all of you. Thank you, Witcharoo, for selecting our deck today. And as always, do what lights you up and shine on.